Today we're going to be focusing on grounding. And so if you're a yoga teacher, you could bring in themes like the root chakra. You could start to talk about, the earth or trees or roots, like anything like that. Anything like that that makes you think of grounding. Visualize, having your feet on the earth. I want to give you guys a nice grounding practice today. And in today's practice, we will be doing two different breathing practices that I think you'll really like and you would love to teach your students if you are a yoga teacher. The first one is Ujjayi pranayama, and then the second one is Dirga pranayama. All right, so we'll do Ujjayi. We'll get familiar with that one in the beginning, and then we'll move into Dirga pranayama at the end, and that's also known as three-part breath. Both of these are really great grounding breathing practices. All right, that being said, you don't need any props for today's practice. Find a spot on your mat and let's get started. Got my handy dandy notes. Yes, if you're a yoga teacher, you can use notes. Nobody's going to think any less of you. Actually, it shows that you put some thought into your practice, into the class. Make your way onto your hands and knees, and we'll come into a modified child's pose by bringing the knees as wide as the mat. Let your big toes touch. Bring your hips back towards the heels, and then reach your arms out as far as you can. Forehead can come down to the mat. Start to breathe here. If your forehead doesn't easily rest onto the mat, you can always stack your fists and place your forehead onto the top fist. Just because you're a yoga teacher or have been practicing yoga for a long time, it doesn't mean that you're going into the most advanced variations of the poses, okay? It means that you're listening to your body. Let's start to incorporate Ujjayi. I call it Ujjayi a lot just for short. It's kind of the slang version. So let's focus on it and starting on incorporating that breath. So before you do, take a couple cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, just letting go of anything that you brought onto your mat with you today. Good. And then start to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And keep doing that. In through the nose and out through the nose. Good job. Now, as you're holding here and breathing, I want you to think about bringing the breath into the rib cage. So really expanding the breath in the back body. Inhale, really expand. Exhale, soften, just let it go. Breathing in and out through the nose. Inhale, expand. Create space. Exhale, let it go. Ground down into the earth. So it's great whenever, just keep breathing like that. It's great whenever we're talking about grounding to really focus on everything that's touching the earth. What is touching the earth right now? Is it the bottom fist? Is it your arms? Is it your hands? Is it your knees and your shins, the tops of your feet? How do your hips feel sinking back towards the heels? Does that feel grounding? Good. Now starting to incorporate your Ujjayi breath. I want you to start to valve the back of your throat. You're still in your child's pose. So it'll sound like, so you're making that ha sound, but the mouth is closed. So go ahead and try making that ha sound if you're new to this breath with your mouth open. So inhale through the nose, exhale. After you try that a couple times with your mouth open, then see if you can do it with your mouth closed and still make that sound from the back of the throat, not from the nose. Good, and keep doing that. When that feels comfortable, then you could do it on your inhale as well. It's a little bit trickier on your inhale. Still coming from the throat. Good, 2 more times here. Beautiful. Now slowly make your way up to your hands and knees. Blink your eyes open. Bring your knees back towards center so that your knees are under your hips, your wrists are under your shoulders. Let's move into cat-cow. As you inhale, start to look out in front of you. Draw your chest forward, shoulders back. Continue with your Ujjayi. Exhale, round into your chest. Round, round, round. Push into your hands. Inhale, look out in front of you, draw your chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, round, tuck your tailbone, push, push, push into the hands. Good. Keep going, working with your breath. So this is our first vinyasa, meaning connecting the movement to the breath. There's a few different meanings of vinyasa, but this is the one I'm using now, connecting the movement to the breath. So in this pose, you're not stopping anywhere. It's constant movement. Last one, exhale, round. And then come to center. Really good. All right, so extend your left foot back. Have your toes on the ground. Push into your knuckles. And whenever I say knuckles, I don't mean on the outside of the hand. I mean on the inside. So on the palm, the knuckles on the palm side of the hand. Push into those knuckles and send the heel down towards the ground, feeling a nice stretch in the calf. Good. Now bring your shoulders forward so you're more back into your neutral tabletop. And then extend your left foot back, your left leg back still, but lift the foot off of the ground. Now, if possible, reach your right arm forward. This is called sunbird. Okay, so instead of coming into a back bend here, think about drawing your navel towards the spine. Try to touch the back of the room with the heel and the front of the room with the fingertips. Of course, that's not going to happen, but you're just thinking about that, visualizing. Everything that we do, everything that comes into our reality is first created in our mind. That's what I believe. Okay, so visualizing is one of the most useful tools you guys can do and that you can have your students do. Anytime you feel like you need to, take a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more really big stretch and release. Just take a couple breaths here. Whew. And I like to do cleansing sighs, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Extend your right foot back, and let's do our calf stretch first. So push into the knuckles, send the heel down towards the mat. It's not going to touch, but just push it down towards the heel. What I always like to tell the people in my trainings is that as the teacher, you want to be willing to look way stupider and sound way stupider than you expect your students to. So if you want them to take a deep inhale and then exhale on a sigh, you have to be willing to sound stupider than you want them to, right? Because they won't outdo you. All right, then come back to more of a neutral, lift the right toes off of the ground, and then reach the left hand forward. I like to look down at the mat here to kind of tuck the chin just a little bit, not so much that you have a double chin, but just tuck it a little bit to keep the neck long. Again, now try to touch the back of the room with the foot, front of the room with the fingertips, navel towards the spine, no back bend. Breathe, ujjayi. Make that ha sound with the back of the throat. You don't have to sound like Darth Vader, contrary to popular belief. You don't have to be really loud. If I were standing right beside you, then yes, I would be able to hear you. All right. But if I was teaching a class at the front of the room, I wouldn't be able to hear you. And one more big stretch and release. Whew. Take a cleansing breath or two. All right, now walk your knees back a couple inches. Spread your fingers apart as far as you can comfortably. Have your pointer fingers pointing straight forward. Push into your knuckles. Lift your knees up off the mat. Push into your knuckles and send the hips up and back so that you're in a straight line from the wrists all the way up to the hips. Okay, now you don't want your tailbone tucking down because that will round the back. So instead, think about pointing your tailbone up to where the wall meets the ceiling behind you. That's usually, in general, a good place to visualize where the tailbone is pointing. Draw the low ribs in a little bit. Push, push, push into the hands. Keep all the knuckles down. Don't let them pop up. Do your heels need to be on the ground? No. Do your legs have to be straight? No. Okay, I want you to focus more on being in that straight line from the wrist to the hips. Let's walk it out. Push one heel down and the other heel down. One heel down and the other heel down. Good. Now just hold it still, push it back, and focus on everything that's touching the earth, grounding down. I am rooted. You can make that the affirmation of the day. I am rooted. Couple more breaths here. Roll the shoulders away from each other, almost like you're trying to close your armpits. Keep that, but then roll the forearms in so that the knuckles, especially of the pointer finger and the thumb, are heavy. Full stretch. And walk the feet forward towards the hands. bringing your feet into your mountain pose feet. So either big toes touching or feet can be a couple inches apart, whatever feels better for you. Hands to your shins. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Bend your knees so that you can tip the pelvis forward so that, again, your tailbone will point more up here rather than down. Push into the feet, look out in front of you, lead with the back of the head. As you inhale, come up with a flat back, circle the arms out to the sides and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart. Breathe here. Grounding down into all four corners of the feet. Come back to your ujjayi. Now visualize energetic roots grounding down, reaching out through the soles of the feet, coming down into the earth, connecting you to the earth's grounding energy. Okay, make sure that you are not leaning forward. Bring your hips back over your heels. Slight bend in your knees, so it won't look bent, but it'll feel bent. So just taking out any hyperextension. Neutral pelvis. Lift the rib cage. Relax the shoulders. Push down through the feet. Inhale, reach up. Palms can touch. Exhale, fold forward. Tip the pelvis so you're pointing your tailbone up. Let your arms and head hang. Inhale, come halfway up to your monkey pose. So hands can be on the shins or on the ground. Flat back, bend your knees, plant your hands. Exhale, step back to your plank, top of a push-up. Yes, we slow these down. Let's get all of the benefits we can from these sun salutations rather than just kind of flipping through them and not getting all the benefits and building the strength we want. Inhale, push forward with the toes so the shoulders come past the wrists. Feel free to bring your knees down. Exhale, lower down, elbows stay in, chest and belly land at the same time. Uncurl the toes. Push into the knuckles. Inhale, lift your chest just a little bit for cobra. Elbows in, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, down. We're not stopping. We're moving the whole time. Inhale, push up to the knees. Toes are curled under. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. This is the only pose that we hold in a sun salutation A. Good thing to know. Roll the shoulders away from each other. Roll the forearms in. Knuckles heavy, heavy, heavy. Send the hips up and back, you guys. Lengthen the side body. Breathe. Ears in line with the upper arms. Roll the shoulders away from each other. Roll the forearms in. Ujjayi. I am rooted. Walk your feet in a couple inches. Big toes can touch. Bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, walk or lightly hop to the front of the mat. Mountain pose feet. Inhale, halfway up. Monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, fold over the legs. Tailbone points up. Push into the feet. Lead with the back of the head. Inhale, rise up with a flat back. Circle the arms up, overhead, palms touch. Exhale, draw the energy down into the heart center. Breathe. Cleansing breaths might feel good here. I know it feels good for me. Watch your alignment in your mountain pose. Bring your hips back over your heels. Squeeze the quads, neutral pelvis, lift the ribs, relax the shoulders. This is mountain pose, but with a variation, the hands at the heart. Come back to your ujjayi. I am rooted. Your ujjayi and your intention. Your intention is to ground using the affirmation, I am rooted. Okay, exhale, push down into the feet. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. One more sun salutation A. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Reach your chest forward, shoulders back. Plant your hands. Exhale, step back with your non-dominant leg. And then the other. Plank. Inhale, push forward, shoulders come past the wrists. Exhale, lower with or without the knees, chest and belly land at the same time. Don't cheat yourself. Uncurl your toes, push into your knuckles. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra, back bend. Exhale, lower down. If you really want to get some big time strength here, curl your toes under. Lift your belly first, then push up in a straight line either to knees or right up to plank. Exhale, hips up and back, Adho. Mukha Svanasana. If you are working on the Sanskrit, say it with me. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Not to be confused with Shavasana, right? Svanasana. Full stretch. All right. Walk the feet in a couple inches. Big toes touch. Bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, little or big hop. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Monkey pose. Exhale, fold over the legs. Push into the feet. Lead with the back of the head as you inhale, rise up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Come back to your breath here. Find your gazing point. Ujjayi breath. Making the ha sound at the back of the throat. Come back to your affirmation. There's no more powerful words in the universe than I am. So be careful of what you put behind those two words. All right, beautiful. Let's move into standing balancing sequence here. Bring your hands to your hips. Step back with your left foot, I don't know, about 2 feet, 1 to 2 feet. Okay, now we're going to put all the weight into the right foot. Squeeze the right quad so that you're not hyperextending the knee. Keep the hips so that they're facing forward. Then we're going to start to hinge forward. Okay, so here we're like a lever here, like a lever. So we're in a straight line from the back heel all the way up to the crown of the head. So I'm not arching the back. I'm not bringing the upper back down further. Okay, so we're in a straight line. Back toes pointing down. It doesn't matter if you just have the back toes a couple inches off the ground. You can go from there anywhere to parallel to the ground. Just like in our sunbird pose at the beginning, think about reaching the heel towards the back of the room, crown of the head forward, or arms. Breathe. If you fall out of it, don't get mad at yourself. Even if you're teaching, it doesn't matter. Makes you more human. Okay, now slowly start to rise up. Don't let the foot touch if at all humanly possible. Let's come right into tree. So you can grab the left foot, place that to the upper inner thigh if that's available to you. If not, place the foot on the calf. Arms can reach up overhead. If possible, bring the palms together to touch. If the palms are touching, really focus on pushing the pinky edge side of the hand together. That'll help you to wrap the shoulders. Low ribs stay down, okay, but lengthen the spine. Vrkshasana, tree. And just for fun, let's come back into Warrior 3, reach. And come up to your mountain pose. So left foot's down, arms by the sides. Woo! Okay, so we haven't really done anything too crazy yet. I hope you're feeling it. I hope you're starting to sweat a little bit. All right, let's do that on the other side. Hands to the hips. Bring the right foot back, pushing into all 4 corners of the left foot. Squeeze the quad. Keep the hips square, and then start to come into your Virabhadrasana 3. No back bend here. Navel towards the spine. Lengthen. Heel, crown of the head. You take it to where you need to go. If you're teaching and you're teaching a beginner class, you're not going to go in the very furthest variation, like, look what I can do. No, we're going to go to where the furthest variation of where your students would be going. This is not about you. It's about them when you're teaching. Right now, it's about you. All right, try to come up nice and slow. Find your gazing points all the way. You go to your variation of tree. If you're bringing the foot up to the thigh, think about pushing the foot into the thigh into the foot. Find your gazing point. If your palms are touching, push the pinky edge of the hands together to help you wrap the shoulders. Think about lifting the back ribs up. So instead of lifting the chest and the front ribs, think about lifting the back ribs. That'll help you to lengthen the spine evenly. Beautiful. With control, make your way into one more Warrior 3. You might really be feeling this in the left glute and hip. And slowly rise up, arms by the sides, mountain pose, Tadasana. Couple cleansing breaths might be in order, in through the nose, out through the mouth. I am rooted. Come back to your Ujjayi. Valving the throat. Doesn't have to be a mad Ujjayi, okay? Make it soft, make it light. Exhale, push down into the feet. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, your monkey pose, wherever you need to go to get a flat back. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Last one. Start to slow down the breath. Slow down the heart rate. Roll the shoulders away from each other. Roll the forearms in. Relax the forehead. Relax the jaw. Good. And come down to the hands and knees. Swing your feet around. And come to cross-legged pose. Put your non-dominant leg in front. Pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. And we do that so that you can really push down equally and right on top of the sitting bones, because we don't want the tailbone tucking under. That means that the pelvis is actually tilting back, and that'll round the spine. So if you need to sit up on a block, do that in order to bring the pelvis into neutral. Okay, it's way more important to be doing these things with correct form rather than having to use a prop. Who cares? Okay, again, that's a sign of an advanced yogi, that you know to listen to your body to use a prop. I use props all the time. Okay, so relax your shoulders away from the ears. Let's have the palms open just to signify that we're willing right now to release, to let go of anything that we worked up to the surface that is keeping us from being rooted. Okay, so close your eyes, bring your chin parallel to the ground. Take a couple cleansing breaths or cleansing sighs. And then start to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose again. And we'll move into our Dirga pranayama. Just a couple more breaths normally, deep yogic breaths. Okay, so just to begin, exhale. Now inhale, think about expanding belly and lungs. Exhale, lungs, belly. Do that again. Inhale, belly, lungs. Exhale, lungs, belly. One more time. Inhale, belly, lungs. Exhale, lungs, belly. Now we're going to add on. Inhale, belly, lungs, ribs. Exhale, ribs, lungs, belly. Inhale, belly, lungs, ribs in every direction. Exhale, ribs, lungs, belly. Don't let me rush you. You breathe in and out as far as you can comfortably. Do that one more time. Inhale, belly, lungs, ribs. Exhale, ribs, lungs, belly. We're going to add on. Inhale, belly, lungs, ribs, and then all the way up to the collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, ribs, lungs, belly. Inhale, belly, lungs, ribs, collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, lungs, ribs, belly. One more. Inhale, belly, lungs, ribs, collarbones. Exhale, collarbones, lungs, ribs, belly. Come back to your deep yogic breath. Nice and smooth in and out. I am rooted. I let go of anything keeping me from being rooted. Say that with me. I let go of anything keeping me from being rooted. Beautiful. Circle your hands together in front of your heart into prayer, connecting left and right hemispheres of the brain, bringing balance and equanimity, body, mind, and spirit. Let's close our practice with one loud and proud Om. Ah, oh, Ready? Inhale. Bow down to where it feels good for you. Bring your thumbs from your heart center up to your third eye, your forehead, connecting heart and higher self. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for committing to your practice, to committing to embodying what it means to be a yogi. The energy within me acknowledges the energy within you, and I thank you so, so very much. I'm honored to be able to guide you through your practice today. Have a great day. Namaste.